What's up, guys? I'm back with another market update. I know this is very overdue, but I feel like we're in a very interesting time in the market, and I wanted to give you guys a quick update on the scenarios that I posted the other day. All right, so the two scenarios that I had were either a running triangle or an extended flat. So here we see a running triangle. We have five moves: A, B, C, D, and E. So if we come back and plot it on the Bitcoin chart, it would probably look something like this. Where we completed A move, B, C, D, and E. And this scenario would most likely run throughout the summer. As you can see, the estimate is probably around August, could be September. As we know, September is typically very bearish for stocks and crypto. And the other scenario was an extended flat. So you can see we have ABC correction with an extended flat. The B leg comes past the start of A, and then we finish off with the C that goes below the end of A. So right here you can see we have the A leg, the B that goes past A, and now we just need to complete the C leg, which I said would most likely take us to 24,000, possibly 20,000, to end the correction. All right, so there are a few reasons why I believe we're going to see an extended flat correction that'll take us below 30,000, possibly to $20,000. And if we go back and look at the pattern for an extended flat, we have 3 moves down, 3 moves back up, and then 5 moves to the downside. So if we come back to the Bitcoin chart, you'll see we have 3 moves down, 3 moves back up, and then we need 5 waves to the downside. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that final 5th leg. This could be wrong. We could still be potentially in that 3rd wave. But as of now, this is what I'm sticking to. I believe we have one more leg down. And we can also use the Fibonacci extension to get a target for that final leg. So you can see from the A to the B leg, we came perfectly to the 100% retracement or extension, which would have been perfect for that first scenario on my first market update video, which was a running flat. But a running flat, just like an extended flat, you need 5 waves to the downside. So if we had 5 waves already, then this could be the completion of that running flat. It could still play out as long as we don't go too deep below 33,000. But again, I think the odds of that are very unlikely. So my next reason for us having an extended flat correction going under 30,000 is if we come to the monthly chart and pull up the RSI, Relative Strength Index, we can see where we're currently at, around 54, 53. Just put a trend line right there. So at the point that we're at, we have never actually bottomed at that point. You can see back here in 2018, we came to the 54, bounced up, and then broke right under all the way to 44. Again, this was the March 2020 crash. We actually came under, came back up, and broke right back under it. So I wouldn't expect this to bottom out at this point. I would actually expect this to either bounce back up and break back down, or just go straight back down to 48, maybe even 44. And then at that point, I would say that we're definitely very oversold, and the correction is most likely complete. All right, so moving on to my next reason for us going even lower. If we pull up the Bitcoin's futures chart, which is very important to keep track of, futures market dictates where the rest of the market is going. So we can zoom out, come to the daily chart, and you can clearly see a gap that has yet to be filled. And gaps always get filled. You may not know when, but eventually they will get filled. So if we plot that out, you can see we have a range of 24 to 26,000, which again correlates with the target we came up with using the fib extensions. So we can plot it again. There we go. So that would correlate with the 1.236 level on the fib extension, which is about $24,000. Also, if we go back and look at other gaps, you can see we clearly had a gap right here that eventually got filled after the March 2020 crash. We have a bunch of other gaps over here, eventually got filled. Another one right here that came down, this wick filled it. Let's see if we can find any more. We have one back here that got filled. So you can see gaps eventually do get filled. You may not know when, but they will get filled. And you can see that before we went higher, we always came down and filled gaps. So I would expect us to come down, fill this gap before we go towards that 100,000, 200,000 price per Bitcoin. So my last reason for us going lower overall in the crypto market is the relative strength of the US dollar. As you know, we always look at crypto and stocks in terms of US dollars because it's the world reserve currency. So the strength of the US dollar is definitely going to affect all markets, and that's why it's very important to keep track of it. And there's a strong correlation that you can clearly see. So here we have a good amount of history of the relative strength of the US dollar. Obviously, it's going in a clear downtrend. The absolute value is probably going to zero, who knows, but in terms of relative strength, you can see that right here the strength of the US dollar was plummeting in 2017. So if we go back and look at Bitcoin, obviously that's going to have the inverse effect. So during 2017, we saw Bitcoin and crypto just completely skyrocket. And then 2018 was the bear market. So now we can go back to the US dollar, or the relative strength of the US dollar. And we can see that 2017, right as the bear market in crypto was starting, the US dollar was starting to gain strength up until the crash of 2020. Then we started coming back down during 2020 all the way until the beginning of 2021. And 2020 was a very good year for crypto. Everything was going to the moon. So you can see, and I'll show you guys again, 2020, right as the US dollar started plummeting, you can see Bitcoin and the crypto market just skyrocketed. So it's definitely a strong correlation between the relative strength of the US dollar and the crypto market, as well as Forex and stocks. Looking back at the strength of the US dollar, we can clearly see we have one impulse, wave 2 correction, second impulse, wave 4 correction, and it looks like we're more than likely making that final fifth leg to the upside before we have that ABC correction. So like I covered in my first video, in a bull market or in a uptrend, you typically have 5 moves to the upside and then 3 moves to the downside. So if this actually goes as planned, we'll see the US dollar skyrocket again, most likely crypto and stocks plummeting. And once we finally see the US dollar correcting, then we should expect the bull run to explode. And this also correlates with interest rate hikes coming next month from the Fed. And also we have the Russia and Ukraine war possibly taking place. So both of those scenarios also add to the selling pressure in both crypto and stocks. So really it depends on what we see happening with the relative strength of the US dollar. As it climbs up, we'll see crypto and stocks continue to go down. If we kind of stay in a range for a while, then maybe we might see a little push in crypto and stocks. But overall, I would say for this year, it looks like the relative strength of the US dollar is very bullish, which will result a very bearish scenario for crypto. So I hope this video was very helpful for you guys and you were able to see the bigger picture of what's going on in the markets and where we're headed moving forward. Again, I've just been accumulating my cash position. I've gotten pretty greedy with my entry points and I want to get the best entry points possible. So I've just been studying as much as I can in these charts. Also, if you want to see me chart a specific coin, please let me know. I typically just do Bitcoin because it usually controls the direction of the whole market. It's not because I love Bitcoin. I actually hold very little Bitcoin. But if you want to see me chart any specific coin, definitely let me know. And if I've been posting, or if you want to see me post something that I haven't posted, let me know. If there's any specific project that you want me to look more into, I'll definitely be glad to do that. But until the next video, guys, peace out.